Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, his office said Sunday. According to Associated Press, Biden was seen last week by doctors after urinary symptoms and a prostate nodule was found. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer on Friday, with the cancer cells having spread to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone-sensitive, which allows for effective management, his office said. The president and his family are reviewing treatment options with his physicians. Prostate cancers are given a score called a Gleason score that measures, on a scale of 1 to 10, how the cancerous cells look compared with normal cells. Biden's office said his score was 9, suggesting his cancer is among the most aggressive. When prostate cancer spreads to other parts of the body, it often spreads to the bones. Metastasized cancer is much harder to treat than localized cancer because it can be hard for drugs to reach all the tumors and completely root out the disease. However, when prostate cancers need hormones to grow, as in Biden's case, they can be susceptible to treatment that deprives the tumors of hormones. The health of Biden, 82, was a dominant concern among voters during his time as president. After a calamitous debate performance in June while seeking re-election, Biden abandoned his bid for a second term. Then Vice President Kamala Harris became the nominee and lost to Republican Donald Trump, who returned to the White House after a 4-year hiatus. But in recent days, Biden rejected concerns about his age despite reporting in the new book, Original Sin, by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson that AIDS had shielded the public from the extent of his decline while serving as president. In February 2023, Biden had a skin lesion removed from his chest that was a basal cell carcinoma, a common form of skin cancer. And in November 2021, he had a polyp removed from his colon that was a benign, but potentially pre-cancerous lesion. In 2022, Biden made a cancer moonshot, one of his administration's priorities, with the goal of having the cancer death rate over the next 25 years. The initiative was a continuation of his work as vice president to address a disease that had killed his older son, Beau. A Mexican Navy sailing ship on a global goodwill tour struck the Brooklyn Bridge in New York on Saturday, snapping its 3 masts, killing 2 crew members and leaving some sailors dangling from harnesses high in the air waiting for help. According to Associated Press, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said the 142-year-old bridge was spared major damage, but at least 19 people aboard the ship needed medical treatment. 2 of the 4 people who suffered serious injuries later died, Adams announced on social media early Sunday. The cause of the collision was under investigation. In a scene captured in multiple eyewitness videos, the ship, called the Cuauhtémoc, could be seen traveling swiftly in reverse toward the bridge near the Brooklyn side of the East River. Then, its 3 masts struck the bridge's span and snapped, one by one, as the ship kept moving. Video showed heavy traffic on the span at the time of the 8:20 p.m. collision. No one on the bridge was reported injured. The vessel, which was flying a giant Mexican flag and had 277 people aboard, then drifted into a pier on the riverbank as onlookers scrambled away. Sailors could be seen aloft in the rigging on the damaged masts, but, remarkably, no one fell into the water, officials said. Just before the collision, Nick Corso, 23, took his phone out to capture the backdrop of the ship and the bridge against a sunset. Instead, he heard what sounded like the loud snapping of a big twig. Several more snaps followed. People in his vicinity began running and pandemonium erupted aboard the ship, he said. He later saw a handful of people dangling from a mast. "I didn't know what to think, I was like, is this a movie?" he said. The Mexican Navy said in a post on the social platform X that the Cuauhtémoc was an academy training vessel. It said a total of 22 people were injured, 19 of whom needed medical treatment. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum regretted the loss of the 2 crew members. "Our solidarity and support go out to their families," Sheinbaum said on X. The Brooklyn Bridge, which opened in 1883, has a nearly 1,600-foot main span supported by two masonry towers. More than 100,000 vehicles and an estimated 32,000 pedestrians cross every day, according to the city's transportation department. Its walkway is a major tourist attraction. Traffic was halted after the collision but was allowed to resume after an inspection, city officials said.
Holy crap. What is going on? Oh, what? I was with some friends who were visiting from Alaska. They're on a little vacation, and so we got done eating dinner. We were just kind of standing by the water. There was a wedding going on where the carousel is. I don't know if that's important, but I just thought I'd share. It was interesting. It was cool. And we were just hanging out by the water. We noticed the ship. I guess it's a naval ship. We noticed it across the way. We thought it looked cool. It was just stationary. And then we saw it start moving. Um, and we didn't think anything of it. And then I was like, I think it's coming towards us. I was like, that's cool. Like we'll be able to get a cool picture of it, like with the broken bridge. That looks so cool. Like that's what our minds were on. Um, and as it got closer, his wife was like, I don't think it's gonna make it. And I was like, no, I think like in my head, I'm like, of course it's gonna make it. Why would they come this way if it doesn't make it? Like it wouldn't make like that was my thought process. So I was like, oh, I think it's gonna make it. And then like a couple seconds later, the top of the mast, the lights disappeared. And I was like, oh, that's not making it because you can't see the lights anymore. That's not making it. And so that's when it collided. That's when it started colliding. And a lot of people started running back. In the video I took, there's another like section of that walkway that I was on. I don't know what the walkway is called, but the thing along the water. People started moving back from there, and then people started running from where we were. Dude, the bridge is shaking out there. We gotta keep moving. This is insane. There was a lot of screaming. We heard it at least in person. I don't know if it was picked up on the video, but you could hear like the snaps. Like you could hear the boat like taking damage. And you could see there was a lot of pandemonium on the boat. I didn't realize until after, but there was people on the masts of the boat, like up there. So one of theirs got hit and they fell off of it and they were hanging on the rope because they were all attached to it. I literally thought in my head, I'm like, it feels like I'm in a movie right now. Like I didn't know what to think. I was like, is this a movie? Like it was honestly like crazy. Like I wasn't like traumatized or anything, at least me personally, but it was definitely a moment. There's a lot of people scared. It was pretty loud. It almost just sounded like, um, at least from what I can compare it to, is like just like a big twig just getting snapped. Um, that's kind of what it sounded like. It sounded like wood breaking.